Hi, I'm Ruby, and Points of Interest is back from EGX. We had a really good time a couple weeks ago. It feels like longer than that. I was really tired for a really long time after I got back.
I'm really upset I didn't get to go to Eurogamer. I've got a lot of friends in London that I would really like to see.
Duly noted for next year, because I feel like Eurogamer would be more fun with you.
Yeah, anything would be more fun with me.
This is a thing. This is a true thing. So I want to take a second and tell you congratulations.
Thank you.
The last time we had you on the show, you were getting ready to have a baby girl, and Caitlin is 10 months old now.
Yep.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, she is as happy as her mom.
Yeah.
And yeah. So congratulations. It is long overdue, but we haven't had you on the show for a long time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you.
So Leah and Teddy are with us today. We're going to talk about dynamic events in Guild Wars 2. We have a lot of newer players right now who are kind of just getting introduced to this system. And for older players, I found myself, as I was kind of preparing for this over the last couple weeks and realizing how for granted I take our dynamic event system. Like I'll be on Fields of Ruin, and Benny will come running up that the Skrit stole the helmets, and I'm like, oh my gosh, please, Benny, I'm going to tie a rope around your waist for the helmets because you're driving me up the wall. But it really is a fun system, and I've had so much fun just going in there and finding these events that I haven't played with for a long time.
It was kind of a unique thing when we launched. I mean, let's not say that we were the first people ever do it.
No.
But, it was one of our big new things. We would have these events that just constantly go on and affect the world and just get players to play together, like, dynamically, so...
Yeah, and the whole idea of not having to turn in your quests was another big thing we wanted to push, and because you can just join an area, play, get your rewards, and move on.
I like it.
Dynamically.
I like it a lot. Actually, let's take a second first, and I want to talk about you guys real quick and what you do here at ArenaNet. So, ladies first.
I'm content design, working on top secret things. So,
you notice I didn't ask you.
Oh yeah, but you said yeah.
And what about you, Teddy?
I'm principal content designer on Living World. I usually handle the season premieres, so episodes 1 and 2, and coming up 5 and 6.
Thank you for that. I am excited.
I am really
super excited. So
I'm not nervous at all.
No. You shouldn't be. You really shouldn't be.
Oh, no, I should be.
And you guys you've worked together for a tiny bit of time.
Leah and I have been working together for almost a decade now, actually.
Yeah.
That is crazy to me.
She was my boss at Microsoft.
Yep.
Do you still like boss Teddy around?
No. We're partners in crime now. Yeah.
I feel like there's some fun missed opportunity there, but, whatever.
Yeah, good times.
It's kind of a comedy of errors that we both ended up here in these seats right now.
Yeah.
But
it always is.
It's good for us. The rest of us are benefiting from that. So, well, let's take a second. I want to start. We have some really awesome fan content, some fan art that has come in, and I want to start looking at this. This first one I am absolutely in love with. This is one of our fans. The name is Sampo. I hope I'm not butchering these. I always kind of cringe thinking I'm getting these wrong. And I'm just going to read what they put here. As a big fan of the art of Guild Wars 2 and a student of 3D modeling, I decided to test my skills with the following project. This is a 3D replica of a Guild Wars 2 building. The first area that came to mind, this absolutely blows my mind, was Divinity's Reach. And this was like a weekend project. They were going to do a 3D model of Divinity's Reach.
Good luck, Betty.
Seriously, I so admire your ambition because I like Divinity's Reach, and I've spent a lot of time running around. And when I read that, I just went, oh, my friend.
I'm sorry for you.
I would love to see you do that because that's amazing.
It would be beautiful.
So to stay with one weekend project, I decided to make something from the village of Shaymore. So the Inn of Shaymore it was. We have an exterior and an interior shot that are absolutely beautiful.
Good choice. Shaymore has a special place in my heart. I worked on Queensdale, so
Did you really? Oh. So did you have a hand in this particularly?
Is that the
well, the people in it, yeah.
Okay.
Not the building
Okay.
itself.
Please tell me you had something to do with the guy who was like, that reminds me of did I tell you my wife is pregnant?
I probably put that scene in
That
there.
is that is absolutely one of my favorite NPC interactions because they're like, hey, we had this really big battle with an awful wolf, and he's like, that's remind me. Did I tell you?
It was
and they're
foreshadowing.
like, how did that remind you? how did that remind you of your wife? It was just such a great conversation. I really got a kick out of it. There is also a absolutely beautiful 3D video of this Inn of Shaymore on there that you can find on our Guild Wars 2 Tumblr. So let's scoot on. This is a guild group picture of the Forgeman Destroyers, which was submitted by Edgar D. Yeah. And the more I look at this, I keep going back to this because the more you look, the more detail you find, and I'm absolutely crazy about this piece.
That would make such a kicking tattoo.
Yeah, it would.
You're going to get this, aren't you? If you do, don't tell me, because I will make you come back on the show and be like...
I'll get it in green, so like you can never make me show it.
Oh, yeah.
Clever.
Yeah.
Man, everybody knows.
We're thinking
This
around
is a
here.
green screen.
Okay, yeah, do green things, and then she will leave you alone.
Alana even dyed her hair green just to not be on your show.
Oh, man. No, that took me by surprise. That was not okay. Okay, let's scoot on to the next one because this is the absolute yummiest thing. The Plaza of Melandered Cake.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Uh-huh.
It was actually
Ruby
a terrible
felt
pun. It was a terrible pun. This is a Plaza of Melandered cake made primarily of white modeling chocolate.
Sounds
The
delicious.
cake is a chocolate caramel marble filled with dark chocolate, and it is a 2-tier gravity-defying design supported by a white chocolate column with vines and leaves hand-painted. I am completely blown away by this thing.
She's so cute.
It is just, the detail is blowing me away. And look at the grass down on that bottom layer. That is just killing me.
How could you cut it?
Yeah,
to
how do you
sit?
eat cake?
I could not bring myself to.
Any of these art cakes, it's like, do you just keep them and look at them until they get moldy? Or?
Or you put them in
I
the
don't know.
freezer
You're
for
gonna
your,
at some
your wedding
point you
cake
just
or
have
whatever?
to suck it up and just deal with it. The
Just
fact
like
that you're destroying this beautiful creation
Rip the Band-Aid off, chop her head off first.
and having the deliciousness.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So this is, I think it's Carrion, Karien. It looks like Carrion's Kitchen. And they, my husband and I are big Guild Wars 2 players, and I make cakes in my local area. This was a birthday cake for 2 of her guild members, which I think is really, really sweet. Yeah.
Nice.
So, well, let's go ahead and move on to talking about dynamic events. You worked on Dry Top, which is kind of where we're hanging out back here, and I can't believe nobody's found my character yet.
That's a challenge, by the way.
I know, I'm kind of hiding.
To be perfectly clear, I didn't actually work on the open world parts of Dry Top. More so, I worked on the story content in that release. Principal designer, so I oversaw some of the higher level designs of it. But I don't want to steal their credit. Sarah Sperry, Lisa Davis, Byron, they were the ones who primarily built the stuff in Dry Top, and they're all cowards and don't want to be on your show.
I'm trying to soften them up. This is the opposite of helping me.
It's never going to happen.
We're the brave ones.
But yeah, Dry Top is kind of... So a thing, if you've been playing a game for a while, that you've probably seen is our content's evolved over the years. Like, if you look at our very first events in Queensdale, which Leah worked on,
Yeah.
all the way through, like, Battle for L.A., Escape from L.A., the Marionette, through Dry Top, you can just see this... You can see this evolution of just how our content's structured. Like, we rely on what we call meta events a lot more. It's a much more direct experience to try and get everybody to play together. For new players, if you go into one of the new maps, a meta event is basically a large event that tracks all these little events inside it, so you're working together with a huge group of people to succeed or fail. For example, Escape from LA was all about saving the survivors, and the count in that would determine your rewards, and that would be based largely on how well you work together. And that's kind of what we've been trying to encourage more and more and more. It's also what you guys have responded to really well as we've gone further into this.
That's been a super fun thing as far as dynamic events. Because you have like one-off dynamic events. It's just like one thing, and you have your fun, and then you move on and you do something else. And I remember closer to launch, you would watch, and players would do a dynamic event, and it would finish, and everybody would scatter, and I feel like I was left standing there going, come back, we're not done. Because we have so many of these great events in there that will either chain, and they're like, okay, great, you succeeded. Oh, we've got the advantage. Let's push this, and it will chain into another dynamic event. If you stay and listen to what they're saying, we'll move on to something else. Or even better, not better, but okay, I like loot, okay?
Still cool.
I like loot, sue me. The NPC will be like, oh man, that was really hard, and I couldn't have done that without you. Come here, I have something to show you. And they'll go over to like a pile of rocks or something and be like, look behind here. And you open it up and there's a chest. And I'm looking around going, you all left. And can I have, there were like 9 other people here and they took off. Can I have their stuff too? And actually, can we talk after the show about making it work like that? Because that would be amazing.
Well, if you want something soul-crushing, there is the champ train. If you like loot and hate yourself.
I like the champ trains are kind of fun. You can find me down in Ore sometimes. Because I like the champ trains when it's all people that are working together and not like screaming horrible obscenities at each other. That's when I start having a problem.
So
that is like a whole show in itself.
Now that we're joking about champ trains, I mean, it is kind of indicative of like the meta events we're doing now to try and get away from that kind of content.
That's a good point. That's actually a very good point. If you just keep chaining those, and the rewards, they get better and better, and it's so much fun. So
that was an important part about our design philosophy around events, is that they need to have some sort of world impact at the end. So be that a chain into another event, or that special area that is unlocked, or anything like that.
Yeah.
We always put thought into what happens after these events and how does it change the world.
Actually, speaking of this was a completely unintentional, really good segue.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm just sitting here going, that was really, really good. Speaking of Ore and the champ trains, so I'll be down there I'll be running around with the champ trains and my guildies in Ore, and we'll just kind of be doing that while we chat and talk. And somebody will be like, Grenth is up. The Grenth event is up. You made that. You didn't make it by yourself in a room all alone, but you worked on the God Temple events.
With your own 2 hands.
Yeah, I did work on the
hands.
God Temple events. I was in charge of Chris Shore, actually. So both Grenth and Melanger were the ones I worked on. And the God Chains are actually one of the early test beds for meta events, too. We had just gotten this technology, and we wanted to tie it into the world. So the Ore chain, the God Temple chain is meant to be the pinnacle of Ore and the that last big experience, And so they were all tying together into the push to get to the Gates of Ra and the Dragon Dungeon.
I love it so much.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Thank you for that. One of the things that I absolutely am crazy about with the Grenth chain in particular, once you get there to the event, once you get all the way to the end, and everybody's like, okay, we got to do this, because a lot of times the chip train will just grind to a halt. And people, there are some people that are like, you know what, this is just what I'm comfortable with. I like doing this because I've had a really hard day at work and I'm exhausted and I just want 30 minutes for mindless gameplay. And I want to continue with the champ train, so I'm going to do this. But a lot of people will stop and be like, okay, I'm going to come and do this. Even when they get all the way to the end, of the Grenth, the temple, and people are saying, and this just makes me smile every time, players are saying, hey, you need to get here, and they don't even care if you haven't helped with the whole rest of the thing. They're like, hey, get here and get your chest.
Those legendary chests.
Yeah, just, hey, come get a chest. And it's actually one of the ways that our rewards work in game that I like, that it's not, oh gosh, I hope that I get the cool loot at everybody else's expense. We talked about this at Eurogamer quite a bit. But people will just say, hey, come get the chest, because everybody gets good stuff. So it's an aspect of our community that really makes me happy. So thank you for making a conduit for that.
Anytime.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks.
But yeah, you can see the evolution from that to all the later stuff we've been doing. And if you like the stuff in Dry Top, you're in luck, because we always look at previous releases to see what worked, what didn't work. So it's always a process of zeroing in on what you guys really want.
Actually, there's a comment here that Josh gave us that I want to read because it makes me happy. The way that events work in Dry Top has been really good. So pass along those thanks to everybody that wouldn't come up here. It definitely makes me optimistic for future content if that's the way we're going. I like that. That makes me happy. So you guys did good. I have a lot of fun in Dry Top.
It's been one of our more successful maps in terms of, well, everything. The story there was great. Just overall look of the map was fantastic. Yeah. Josh Foreman was the map artist for that one.
Josh did amazing, and I think Josh Foreman had so much fun. Josh Foreman is like the king of jumping puzzles, yeah. And he's our cruel overlord of jumping puzzles.
He likes to punish you.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
And we keep thanking him for it. It's
not
really...
so secret, all him.
Wait a minute, that was Josh? Excuse me, I'll be right back. I need to go talk to Josh. No, it's been so much fun.
There's just another layer of jumping puzzles for him to explore.
So vertical. I imagine him just sitting there rubbing his hands and cackling.
And that was an example of something that worked very well in the past, coming back just because you guys loved it so much, is Zephyrite crystals in Dry Top.
Mm-hmm. They could stand to last a little longer for those of us who are really bad at jumping. It's terrible.
Get good.
So,
we're just trying to encourage you to get better at the game, Ruby.
I thought you were trying to teach me new swear words.
Maybe.
It might be a little bit of both, just to confess. I kind of want to dive into that question down there. Could you maybe discuss how you would teach players about how the meta event works and communicate the whole idea of multiple events contributing to the same meta goal? That's something that we have honestly we've kind of been doing in-game a little bit, not necessarily from like a big official, oh, we're going to put this on the website point of view, but it's a thing that I've watched the community do naturally, and you're going to hear me like harp on how great our community is a lot, because it's true. And again, the way our reward system works has really encouraged the community to do this. I've seen, I joked about yelling at people, come back, when they leave before an event chain is over, but if you watch our map chat, veteran players will teach newbies, hey, this event is coming up, and they will be pinging the waypoint in chat, and they will teach people who don't know, hey, this thing is about to happen. This is how it works. This is where the waypoint is if you want to participate. Everybody come. I was getting ready for a Tequatl run last night. We were all kind of hanging out, and people were dropping their buffs and banners and food, and people were saying, oh, we could use more of this particular kind of weapon. We could use more of this particular kind. It would help if you didn't do this. And I find that our community does that organically, so that kind of makes a difference.
Yeah, you folks are great. It's also the structure of the game encourages everybody to work together because you succeed together. If that person doesn't know the strat, then that doesn't help you, that they die horribly in fires all the time, so you want to help them.
Yeah, mostly then they're just not contributing, and it's unhelpful to you.
Yep.
You guys can address that last question because it's way over my head.
Ooh, I get this one so many times. So you want to take this one, or you want me to?
So the question is, what is the content designer's main job, and how is it different from the other types of designers? Well, content design really focuses on what goes on in the world. Like, we tell the stories, we put in the events, we put in all the NPCs running around everywhere, and it also involves the personal story stuff, so we do all those instances, and it's more forward-facing to the player. It's what you see in the world.
It's what you think of as the game.
Yeah, where the other side is systems design, and those are the guys that do all the back-end stuff, like the skills, the class work, the boss skills and fights, that kind of stuff.
The way I usually put it is a content design. Okay, let's use Legos.
That's always a good example.
All the pieces of the game, the music, the writing, the cinematics, the character models, they're Lego pieces. Content designers don't make the Lego pieces. We kind of architect how the Legos will go together and request the Lego pieces be made and then put them together. So basically we play Legos all day, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the best explanation.
Mm-hmm. I practiced this
It makes me happy.
Good job.
That's fantastic. We have somebody with a flying carpet found us. Oh, they fell off the flying carpet. Too bad. Did you guys get the flying carpet?
I don't have the flying carpet, no.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't. Save my gems. Bought too many great swords.
Yeah.
I did. You bought too many great swords. So I bought the flying carpet, and this is totally off topic, but I just saw it and it made me so happy. I hadn't looked at it before we put it on live. I was just playing. I honestly forgot it was coming out. Have you seen how the Asura rides the flying carpet?
No, I haven't actually.
It's amazing. I gave it to my Asura just because that's what I happen to be on. The Asura stands on the flying carpet. because Asura don't sit.
Oh, there's one right now.
There, look at her.
Hey, flying carpet.
That's amazing. You look so dignified.
adorable.
Look, can you like zoom in a little bit,
I need a
because
flying
this
carpet
absolutely
now for
kills
my
me. It
Asura.
is so funny.
You're joking.
Yeah, we're looking at you.
Yes, you.
Yeah, you.
That cracks me up. The Asura, it's just like behold my tiny short majesty. The flying carpet has been cracking me up all week. It makes me so happy. So thank you, whoever you are, for showing me an Asura on a flying carpet, because it never fails to make my day.
Now they had some fun. They're jumping up and down.
I bought too many makeover kits. I couldn't do it.
Oh my gosh! Did you realize they keep dropping for me?
Really?
I keep getting them. I still have like 4 in my inventory, and I'm ridiculous about making my characters.
I'm addicted to those things.
Okay, yeah, that's a dynamic event for me. I could spend like 20 minutes. So, okay, I've gotten us off topic. I'm so sorry,
What are we
but
talking about again?
seriously, we were talking about that
What?
Asura on the flying carpet because it just kills me. I love it. Okay, so the dry top meta event reward system. Are you guys enjoying it? What do you think about it? Have you played it too much? Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Like I've been saying, I think Dry Top's been a really good example of all the lessons we've learned coming together. We love the reward system in Dry Top. It's definitely a model that we have thought worked really well, and from the data we've looked at, a model you guys really like playing. So, yeah, it's probably something you'll see more of.
I'm so glad. I'm glad to hear that. So we're kind of getting close on time, so we have to go through a couple more things. So you worked on Queensdale too, right?
I did.
You like right at the beginning and the end, which just is so much fun to me.
Yeah.
Please tell me you had, and I keep asking, I keep fixating on my favorite characters and being like, were you the guy that keeps running up and is like, that so-called farmer punched me in the face? He's my favorite.
Yeah, I actually did that one. Yeah.
I always like it because all I can think is there must be some sort of farmer doctrine that's like, if you're a farmer, you can't punch people in the face. Because this guy, clearly.
Obviously, that was to tell that he was not quite a farmer.
Right? Farmers don't punch.
No.
Farmers.
Very calm, apparently. Chill
I need
people.
to be a farmer. Oh my gosh. So I want to ask you guys what your favorite dynamic event is. Or it can be a meta event chain.
Gosh, there's so many good ones.
I know.
So I think one of my
Oh,
favorites.
Sandstorm.
Oh,
and
no.
a ton of birthday cakes. Holy cow. So anyway.
I think one of my favorites was actually in the Harathi Hinterlands.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was just because the way we all came together to get that in there. It was the entire, northern half, that big Centaur meta event chain.
The Olgoth chain?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that one. That is super,
so it was
super fun.
me and Mike Z and Matt, and we just had to crunch this thing and get it done in a week because we were running short on time. So we actually had a sleepover in the office, and I made waffle breakfast for everybody.
I am angry that I was not here for this.
And it all came together, and it was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that one. I take my ranger in there with dual axes and just stand at the gates when the centaurs come galloping up. There's thousands of them because everybody does that. And then I just spam my loot key and vacuum all the loot up. So thank you so much for that, because I really enjoy all those bags.
I like that one too.
Thank you, centaurs, for wherever you are keeping all of that loot. I really enjoy it. What about you?
So, being that I've worked primarily on Living World, I'm going to have to choose one of them because I'm biased. I think my favorites...
That's a good bias.
My favorite meta event for any of the Living World releases so far has been probably Escape from LA. So the thing with Open World is... Open World tells the world story, what's going on at large. Whereas, personal story, Living World story, that's focused on your characters and, your friends, like Casimir, Marjorie, Rox, and Bram, and Timey. And in Escape from LA, you saw all that come together. You saw, the culmination of this investigation you've been doing, and in concert with this giant attack from Scarlet, where she's blowing up, basically, the city everybody goes to. We're sorry for that. But
not really. It was fun.
It just really got you involved in this story. So
We're sorry.
Did get you involved in the story.
Yeah, it got you involved because yes, you're doing events for loot and all of that, but you're also saving people in this setting that's really intense. Like, everything's burning down. These are places you go to every day to, like, you know, shop and use the bank and craft. And it's all on fire. And, yeah, that was really, really exciting for me.
It really was. I remember doing that. I was playing through that with a couple of other staff members here, and I remember just looking around going, we really did it. We really did it. And players were saying that, too. They would go, oh, we didn't think they were serious. Oh my gosh, they blew that thing up. It was, and that sense of urgency and that sense of, oh my gosh, this beautiful city that we come to all the time is on fire.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's one of the big things I love about working on this game is that we're not afraid to do that kind of stuff. It's like, we can blow up the city, and it gives that sense of
about this now.
A sense of, like, it makes you really attached to the things that are there, and it's good.
Yeah.
It does.
Everything changes.
Yeah.
Darn it. Yeah. Let's see. We have one more. I'm going to just see if you guys want to address what was the inspiration behind the dry top events. And actually, I think kind of where we're going with that is how it's evolved, because that's kind of an event rotation with the Sandstorms. And it's a little bit different than one we've done before. It's kind of fun.
So when we were talking about dry top initially in our planning meetings, we knew we wanted a cyclical structure, just like Escape from LA, where you work together towards a goal, and then at a defined point in time, you track how much progress you got and get rewarded accordingly. So it encourages players to play well and play together. The Sandstorm was primarily based on the notion that we needed some way to reset this at the end. And you're in a desert, Sandstorm, it's just natural. Lisa Davis and Sarah Sperry actually, they were the genesis of the idea that let's have events in the Sandstorm. Let's have like things we can do and make it like a bonus round. So that was all them. But
thank you guys.
It's worked really well.
They're wizards. They're awesome.
I really like that. I like that there's stuff in the Sandstorm, and it's not just, okay, there's a Sandstorm, everything stops, go do something else, game over until the Sandstorm ends.
Yeah.
So it's been super, super fun, and I'm probably going to spend my lunch hour in dry top again.
Playing the Sandstorm.
It is. There's some really neat stuff in there, and I like the challenge of the change in visibility. One thing that I really, really loved that I just wanted to take a really quick note of is that depending on where you are, it's not just throw this vision effect in there. If you go under rocks and in little protected areas, it gets better. Yeah. The visibility, because the terrain is blocking the sand. And it's a neat little thing that we've added in there that I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of work on Josh's part.
Yeah.
Yep. You all did a really, really good job.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So thank you guys for putting together the dynamic events and the meta event chains. And
pleasure.
All of them. They're all us.
They are just the two of you.
Just the two of us.
And all of you guys that will not appear on camera for me and continue to break my heart on a weekly basis.
We still love them.
Yeah, we do, thank you. So we need to wrap up because there's a sandstorm.
Oh,
and
no.
also because it's getting kind of late.
Yeah.
So
we love you guys too.
Yeah.
Right?
Leah, Teddy, thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yes, thank you.
This has been Points of Interest, and we will see you guys in a couple of weeks. Join us next Friday for Ready Up at the same time. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.